Capital News tonight. The director for programming for Clouds Media, Ruge Mutahaba, has passed away due to kidney disease. University students in Kenya hold protests for the murder of a fellow student. National Kabaddi team to take part in the World Cup for the second time. Good evening. This is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get started with the national news. It is with great sadness that we have to report that Ruge Mutahaba, the director of programming for Clouds Media Group, has passed away while he was continuing to receive treatment for kidney disease in South Africa. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, through his Twitter account, has said that he has received the news of the death of Ruge with great sadness and sent his condolences to his friends and family, adding that he will forever be remembered for his significant contribution in news and entertainment, as well as in his efforts to build thoughts of development for the youth. May he rest in eternal peace. The President of Zanzibar, as well as the Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, has asked members of Parliament of the East African Legislative Assembly to ensure that they have severe laws that coincide with those of member countries in the fight against corruption within the community. President Shein said this when launching the 4th EALA meeting being held in Zanzibar, where he said that member states are fighting against corruption in their country, but the fight still needs significant push from them.
More efforts now should be directed to the consolidation of the single custom territory. That will enable the faster clearance of goods and more effective custom regime. Likewise, we need to step up efforts towards full implementation of the common market protocols to stimulate production and investment projects that encourage job creation, especially in the industrialization, innovation, SMEs, and tourism, other than the actual language of the people. Other big nations have their own languages. Suffice to say, we need to work very hard that Kiswahili should be developed further and further within our own community.
To His Excellency the President, the entire leadership of Zanzibar and the people of Zanzibar. And for that reason, we have requested one of our colleagues to, on our behalf, move the vote of thanks.
Tanzania Electricity Supply Company TANESCO has said that lack of electricity services in some parts of Dar es Salaam has been due to the renovation of 3 electricity shoring plants by using natural gas at Ubungo 2 station. Speaking during the tour by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Minerals at Ubungo Power Plant, the manager of Ubungo Station 2, Engineer Lucas Busenge, said that renovations on the plants were supposed to be completed this February, but due to inspections showing that some parts are not working and that the engineer has decided to order more from Sweden, it has led to an increase in the completion time frame.
Yanapofika masaa ya matengenezo inabidi izimwe. Ikizimwa tunafanya matengenezo kwa baadhi ni kubadilisha sehemu za vipuli.
Following President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli's directive that action should be taken to investigate into the right causes of a car accident involving 3 trucks in Songwe region, the National Road Traffic Police Commander Fortunatus Muslim has started a daily operation to inspect all large trucks which travel inside and outside the country. Within the space of just 3 hours since the exercise began, it came to light that more than 50% of lorries deliberately tamper with the brakes of their trucks in order to avoid paying cost of repair later.
All lorries coming from outside the country must be inspected. So we are here today at the weighing point in Tunduma to begin this exercise. We are working with the police force to get one area that will be set aside for this purpose. Some owners are very arrogant, claiming that the vehicle belongs to them. So if you are forced to drive in that condition, you cannot refuse. You have a family to take care of.
The President, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, has also met and held talks China, Professor Zhao Yuanil, who has led a team of experts who will be working with Mwimbili's Orthopedic Institute at State House in Dar es Salaam. The meeting was attended by the Chinese ambassador to Tanzania, Wang Qi, the Minister of Health, Community Development, Gender, Elderly and Children, Umi Mwalimu, as well as the Director of MOI.
Na wenzetu wana uzoefu na uwezo mkubwa katika kutoa matibabu hayo.
They have experience and capacity to see more patients. They see at least 400.5 million patients per year, while at Muhimbili we have capacity to see only 160,000 patients. But also they have about 1,500 beds when we have only 300. So through this partnership, it is our hope that our country will increase capacity to be an accomplished center in offering neuro and brain surgery. So we are grateful for our President's vision, who guided us on this highly specialized doctor. So we're happy that they're here today.
We try to help you to make this time we go to the Muhimbili Orthopedic Institute, which is one of the best neurosurgical and orthopedic hospital in Tanzania. And we know what actually your colleague has already done a great job. They save many patients' lives, and every day they are very make it better with maybe better facility, and we try to help train your young doctors. Maybe I think we have already had agreement that every year maybe 2-3 young doctors go to China to get training.
Sasa tunategemea watusaidie kujenga uwezo, tushirikiane nao katika kujenga uwezo wa kuwa na wataalamu wengi wa upasuaji wa ubongo.
I would like to say that we are depending on our foreign neurosurgeons to help us build our capacities so that we will eventually have many top neurosurgeons of our own. I must say too that our hospital signed a contract with their hospital last year which stipulated that there would be cooperation between our hospital and their hospital in the field of brain surgery. I would also like to point out that our top foreign neurosurgeons have come to our hospital this year in order to start implementing the terms of that agreement signed last year. Finally, I must add that our foreign neurosurgeons have assured us that they intend to ensure that our hospital becomes a leading facility in Africa where brain surgeries are performed excellently.
Kwamba watashirikiana na sisi katika hospitali yetu kiwe kituo bora katika Afrika cha tiba ya upasuaji wa ubongo na mshipa wa fahamu.
And over 28 residents claiming compensation at Micheze area, Mkonzi Ward in Dodoma City have been forced to escape their homes after their houses collapsed, especially due to this during rainy season, and others have been unable to develop their farms as the area has been set aside for solar power energy, and they have been told not to develop them as they await compensation.
They should help us. My house is falling into pieces. If it rains, I have to move my family and seek shelter. I don't have money to rent a house, and why should I be made to rent a place when I had my own house?
It's been a while since they carried out a survey. They asked us not to change anything, but it has been a while now, and there is no development. Some have nowhere to live. We support this project, but the way things are at the moment is not good. Survey is complete, which is why I went back and verified the details on the report. The report has now gone to the chief government valuer, after which payment will be processed.
The acting U.S. ambassador to Tanzania, Dr. Inmi Patterson, has said that for Tanzanians to be able to attain development goals as well as become an industrialized nation, media companies must focus on delivering reports that are accurate, which will enable them to do so. Dr. Inmi Patterson said this when visiting the studios of ITV Radio 1 as well as Capital Television and Capital Radio with the World Food Programme resident representative Michael Dunford with the aim of witnessing how the stations conduct their daily tasks.
Dunia ambapo tunaishi sasa.
The world that we live in today, the line between real journalism and fake journalism is mud. Therefore, I'm very grateful for the good job done to inform the people of Tanzania. It is hard to have an industrialized country if its people are not well informed.
Kwa kazi nzuri kuzulisha wa raia wa Tanzania.
Obviously, at the World Food Programme, we have a story to tell. We need to get the message out. We need to be able to highlight the importance of food security and the importance of what we call Zero Hunger, SDG 2, Sustainable Development Goal 2, which is what we're working towards and working with partners like the US government on. Well, I think there's a lot that we can be doing about messaging. One of the big concerns that we have in this country is unacceptably high levels of undernutrition. What can we do to get the message, the importance of eating the right diet, out to your audience? That's certainly something that we could work on. Equally, there's a lot of work that is being done around innovation.
A strike involving over 400 entrepreneurs with meat shops in Nyamagana as well as Ilemela district in Mwanza region that began on Monday after they halted the slaughter and distribution of beef to butchers has ended after the Defense and Safety Committee in Mwanza as well as Nyamagana district intervened.
Business will carry on. The committee will hold a discussion together with people from Ministry of Livestock so we can find a solution. The committee will inform you regularly of any developments.
Tunatengeneza hoja zetu, tunawaita watu wa Wizara ya Mifugo, tunakaa nao. Kibali tutakachoandikiwa Ukelewe kinaandikwa Nyamatala.
We've been to everywhere. What we want is a permit to carry on with our business.
Taasisi zote.
If you move cattle between regions, the permit expires. This is oppressive. If this is an issue, then let this element be removed.
The Vice President of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has called upon residents of Shinyanga region to use the opportunities which will arise from the health facilities that are being built by the government so as to tackle maternal and infant mortality. In addition, Vice President Hassan claimed that the government has built more than 350 health centers countrywide in an effort to ensure that expectant mothers who go to such centers to give birth can actually do so in a healthy and safe manner. The Vice President made those remarks after visiting and inspecting Samuye Health Center in Shinyanga district.
In this phase, we will be able to build 350 health centers, but we as the government have made sure that we make it safe for our expectant mothers on delivery. Provision of health care is one thing, but this one is on you. We have a big problem on teenage pregnancy, and this region is notorious for that. Very young girls fall pregnant, and when they go for delivery, they are not able to. I have 158 unfinished buildings, which I put up with my own effort and the constituency fund. The municipal will work to complete unfinished buildings. I asked the district commissioner to supervise this.
And that is all for national news. International news is next. And in international news, hundreds of students from public universities in Kenya have conducted peaceful protests at MP buildings in Kenya to complain of the constant murders of university students, with 6 students reportedly killed this year alone.
And I would like to state the following.
The officers of Director of Criminal Investigations and the General Police must be accountable because killings of university students in Kenya is becoming a regular thing. This is not right. This country is governed by laws that need to be followed. How come people are killed like animals? Something must be done to stop such actions. As university students in this country, we are sad from this situation. We are waiting for the responsible bodies to take actions towards this matter. Otherwise, it will be a proof that poor people in this country have no right at all.
67 fighters who were in the M23 rebel group have returned to the Democratic Republic of Congo earlier on this morning, with the government asking other fighters who are in Rwanda as well as in Kampala to return as well.
I'm glad that the President of Congo and his government for sending a delegation to bring us back home. The Chief of Armed Forces wanted all Congolese to return back home so that we can build the nation together. As you can see, the Congolese who joined the M23 rebels group have returned home, and they are free to choose whether to continue working with the military force or become civilians.
The Council of Representatives in Burundi has approved the new changes to the law involving the national grade 9 examinations, whereby before, if a student failed exams in classrooms, they could take part in the national exams, and if they passed the national exams, they could continue on to the next class. But this new law states that students must pass the classroom examinations before they move forward.
The national examination is for grade 9 students in both the government and private schools. Those who will pass the exams will proceed to the next higher levels, and those who shall fail the exam will be graded into 2 classes. The first class is for those who will pass their class exams. They shall proceed with vocational trainings, while the other group who did not perform well at class exams shall return back to their schools and repeat the last year.
Women's rights activists as well as members of parliament in Uganda are calling for charges to be laid against officers who provide security to the ambassador of Uganda to Burundi, Mattia Kyaligonza, for slapping a traffic officer last week in Kampala.
Unfair for a woman, but also
that was an unfair act to a woman. These are daily challenges that Ugandan women face at work. I don't think if a man could have been treated like that and nothing could have been done. Therefore, we are calling on all institutions involved to make sure that those guilty are prosecuted.
With the government of Rwanda placing emphasis on people not buying second-hand clothing so as to provide local textile industries a chance, citizens have complained of a drop in clothes made in Rwanda within the market.
There are no clothes found here today. They want to force us to buy clothes made in Rwanda. Surprisingly, those clothes are not sold in the markets, and the few that are available, they are of poor quality comparing to second-hand clothes.
That's all for international news. Business news is up next.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The Minister of Agriculture said that it has begun procedures to register and identify all farmers in the country so that they can recognize and provide them with identification to use the agricultural sector and develop the agricultural sector within the country.
How many farmers are found in Kinondoni district? What are they growing? If it's cassava, fruits or vegetables, how many farmers are engaged in growing the crops? Where are they farming? If we could get answers to these questions, then it would be easy to reach out to all of them. The fifth phase government is trying to build principles of a nation with good industries. And when we speak about industries, we mean production, whereby the produce comes from the agriculture sector.
Inajenga msingi wa kuwe na nchi ya viwanda.
Over 1,600 companies, 50 factories and 2,700 business licenses have been registered by the Business Registrations and Licensing Agency, BRELA, by using networks from October to December last year after the agency began a new procedure of online registration, a system that will simplify registration and enable even more people to reduce costs and introduce their businesses.
When we were doing sensitization program in the second quarter, we have registered 1,628 companies, which is almost 71% of our expectations. This is a great number because when we started the program, we could hardly register 10 companies. This is all because of awareness that we have provided to the communities. More than 70% of entrepreneurs are not officially recognized through the ORS system. A lot of things will be improved. The sensitization program focuses on registering businesses from the informal sector. This move will help in reducing the number of informal businesses in the country.
Farmers of rice and grape harvest in Mtita village, Bahi district in Dodoma have said that despite increased production of the crops, they still face a lack of markets, with the government adding grapes as the 11th harvest so as to push the crop and to increase the revenue to farmers.
Farmers are crying from getting reliable markets for their rice, and rice from Bahi is not given priority at the local markets.
zabibu kwa umuhimu wake.
Grapes have been included in the group of strategic crops so that the government can find means of supporting this crop so that farmers can also benefit from the crop, and we have urged farmers to join the cooperative unions.
Tayari tumeliweka kwenye zao la kimkakati, nao wajiunge kwenye vyama vyao vya ushirika.
And that's all for business news. Sports is next.
Hi, my name is Kotaro Tokuda.
What's up? My name is Céline Garnier.
I'm John Barnes from Liverpool Football Club. The hip, hop, a hip, the hip, hip, hop. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang, bang. Boogie say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear?
I'm watching Sports Gazette.
I'm watching Sport Gazette.
And you're watching Sports Gazette
with Sebastian.
With Sebastian. Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports. Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
And in sports, the national kabaddi team will participate in the World Cup for the second time, with a competition involving 30 teams this time and scheduled to take place in April in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
We have a group D with Chinese, Taipei, New Zealand and German in a men category. In the women category, we have a group W with Sri Lanka, Iraq, Mauritius, and Mexico. Tanzania kabaddi team, we have prepared well, but we have many constraints with the items. We invite all sport lovers to help us on the kabaddi kits, like a uniform, Tanzania national team uniform, a pro kabaddi boot, and other items, including the facilitation of money for players.
Kepa Arrizabalaga has been fined a week's wages and apologized for refusing to be substituted during Sunday's Carabao Cup final defeat by Manchester City.
The Spaniard refused to be replaced by Willy Caballero at Wembley. Although there was a misunderstanding, on reflection, I made a big mistake with how I handled the situation, Kepa said in a Chelsea statement. Manager Maurizio Sarri said he and Kepa had since had a good conversation. Sarri, who reacted angrily when Kepa refused to leave the field towards the end of extra time, also said the incident had been a misunderstanding.
Brendan Rodgers is expected to become Leicester City's manager after Celtics gave him permission to speak to the Premier League club.
The Foxes are keen to install a successor to the sacked Claude Puel as soon as possible. First-team coach John Kennedy is set to take charge of Celtic for Wednesday's Scottish Premiership trip to Hearts. Brendan has indicated that this is an opportunity he wishes to investigate further, Celtic said in a statement. Former Liverpool boss Rodgers cut short a BBC interview when asked about the Leicester vacancy after the champions' win over Motherwell on Sunday.
LeBron James became the first player to feature on the NBA's top 10 all-time scoring and assist list in the LA Lakers' 110-105 defeat by the Memphis Grizzlies.
Already the fifth highest scorer of all time, 34-year-old James moved into 10th place in assists with 11 on Monday night. With 24 points and 12 rebounds, he also registered his 79th triple-double to move up to 5th on that list. But James criticized his teammates after their 31st loss of the season. The last few years, everyone's so accustomed to the losses that I'm just not accustomed to, said three-time NBA champion James, who joined the Lakers last July despite the team having failed to reach the playoffs since 2013.
This item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night. Karen, tell us how has it been going at this year's festival?
Well, the turnout, Vanessa, is amazing as it is.
Thomas, hello.
Nice to be there with you.
What is the purpose of this meeting?